Uncomfortable Convos. It's your boy, the one with the scar in his face, your boy Scarface, and welcome back to another episode. Thank you guys for always joining. I really do appreciate you guys. Every week, it's the same support and more support. Let's not shout out to all the new followers, new listeners. Shout out to everyone who comes from Instagram, TikTok, you name it. I really do appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys give us a 5-star or you share this. Give us a thumbs up wherever you're listening to it at. It helps the podcast a long way. And also, if you guys want to support, thank you guys. Like the unbelievable support on Naughty Science. You guys are amazing. Orders always coming in. Thank you guys. Like Naughty Science is here as a sponsor of the podcast and is here for you guys to buy adult toys and also for other guys to buy adult toys for them and their partners. So thank you guys to everybody who always buys stuff, tries new things. There's people who have repeat customers. The only downfall is it does take a little bit longer than usual shipping, but at the end of the day, you're helping out the podcast. And thank you guys for all the support. I really do appreciate you guys. So link is in the bio and also in the description as well. There's a code just for you guys for the podcast episodes, just for you guys. So shh, don't tell anybody. All right. So today's episode, I know we've done topics on this, but we're going to go at it a little different. So today we're going to talk about exes and toxic dynamics, why we really go back to our exes. Now, I did a whole episode with a psychologist, a professional. And if you haven't listened to that one, definitely go back. It's a few episodes back. Great episode. But I've had this request over and over because exes, they happen all the time. And the more stuff I learn, the more information I get, the more experiences I go through is the better information I can give you guys, the better value I can give you guys. So things are always changing. Things like my stance on certain things have evolved throughout the years. So that's why it's constantly good to do a refresher on some of these episodes. So I really wanted to do that. So because imagine, we've all, I'm sure for the most part, a lot of us have been through that time where we're blocking, unblocking, texting at 2 a.m., pretending we're just friends. But why is it that we really do go back to our exes, right? And can it ever work? So again, I've done a whole episode with a psychologist and, it did really well if you guys haven't listened to this, but this is going to be like other people's experiences, my experiences, and just things I've learned over time. So hold on to your horses. If you guys are dealing with an ex, this one's the one for you. Or if you're like in the process of having an ex, this one is for you too, just because you never know how an ex is going to react. So why we really go back. So psychology of the comfort zone, it's familiar. It feels safe. Like, let's be honest. We want to go back to somebody that we know, somebody we've been with before, just feeling that comfort. I'm using air quotes, feeling safe with this person, even though some people are not safe with that person. But it's something And so if it's something that you're willing to go back to it. And it's easier to go back to somebody that you've talked to, you've been comfortable with, than finding somebody new. Because now you have to go through the whole process of getting to know somebody. Are they even there for you? Just the whole dating thing, right? So that's why it's a little difficult if you decide to, that's why a lot of people end up going back, because that's familiar. And the more you go back to this person, the longer it's going to take you to get past this person. So I've time and time again, questions. Oh, I went back with my ex. It didn't work. Went back with my ex. It didn't work. How many times are you going to, if you want to give it a try one time, okay, go for it. Am I going to do it? No. Everybody knows my stance. Because have I done it before? Yeah. Has it worked out? No. If it gets to the point for me, where we had to separate, had to go our part ways, what makes you think it's going to work out again? That's my thing. What makes you think it's going to work out now? If it didn't work out the first time, why is it going to work this time? Did they do have they changed? Yeah, anybody can say they changed, but have they had that consistent pattern for a year? Yeah, anybody can change for a few weeks, a month, easy, light work. But have they maintained that change over a year? It's kind of like people who are addicted to drugs or something. Yeah, most people can quit for a week, 2 weeks, but then a month in, they go right back to how they were. Yeah, half a year in, they go right back to they get triggered by something, they go right back. So it takes you longer to get over your ex too. The more you keep going back to your ex where you guys are just friends, no. And everybody knows my stance. No, you cannot be friends with your exes. Am I friends with any of my exes? No. Do I need to be friends with them? No. We separated. We went our parted ways. That's where it needs to stay, right? If you want to be friends with your exes in the meantime, like while you're single, you can do whatever you want. Like, let's be honest, you can do whatever you want. But if we get together and we start talking and I find out you're friends with your ex, it's either you're going to cut that off or you're going to cut me off. One of the two. I'll give you that ultimatum. I don't care. Co-parenting, a whole different situation. Okay. Whole co-parenting, there's obviously whole different dynamic. There's kids involved. Are you guys going to do family vacation? No. Are you guys going to do family dinners? No. Are you guys going to hang out as a family? No, because you guys ended that the moment you guys separated. Okay. No, there's no like, oh yeah, but we're on good terms. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. And if you can't do that for me, that's okay. That's totally fine. We're just not meant for each other. So if I find out that that's not something you can change for me, fine. No hard feelings. We'll go our separate ways because I don't bring no exes to the table. You ain't got to worry about any of that at all. So, and then another reason that this could happen is trauma bonding. The highs and lows, from your guys' relationships. We went through the low lows, we went through the high highs. But when it comes to like towards the end of a relationship, there's probably typically more lows than there is highs. And you just wish it would go back to when it was high all the time. That people are like, oh, I wish he would go back to how he was in the beginning. I wish he would go back to how she was in the beginning. Are they going to go back to that? No. Can they come somewhat close? Maybe with a little bit of counseling, therapy, something along those lines. Both of you guys putting an effort to work this out. Yeah, it could go back to something similar, not to how it used to be. It's never going to go back to that because when you first start getting to know somebody, it's exciting. You're like, oh, I want to see her. I want to see him. Like, I want to hang out. But then that kind of like dies once you guys like get to know each other. Yeah, it dies down. Like, I don't care who it is. It happens. Okay. It happens. Now, it won't ever go back to that. I'll tell you that right now. It'll never, no matter what you do, it won't go back to how it was when that first chase, getting to know you was going on. It still can be like somewhat at a high, right? But if you get closer to your relationship is ending, there's probably been a lot more lows than highs. And that's why it's getting you to this point where you're just like, I constantly feel sad, depressed, angry. He's mad. Like we argue, like it's always that. Every now and then you might get a spike of of a high and it makes you think, oh shit, like maybe this can work. And then it goes right back to the same thing. So, and like also when you guys go through, like maybe you guys went through some sort of trauma outside of that and they did too. And that's something you guys can relate to. Some people use it against you. I can't believe you're going to do this to me. Or they're the only ones that understand me. So I'm going to go back to, no, you're never going to get past this person. And another reason too, that they stick together is because they're super fucking toxic with each other. And what I mean by that, they're like, when they fight. I've seen some people, it took them the longest time to separate, but they would throw blows at each other. And I'm just like, why are you guys together? You guys argue and get to the point where you guys are like literally fighting. Like everybody got their hands up, throwing blows, 2 pieces, 3 pieces. Obviously the guy would usually typically win. Guys are usually bigger, but I would just ask, why are you guys still together? Be like, oh, it's just, we have our differences and things like, no. If it got to the point where you guys are laying hands on each other, I would have seen my exit. No, I don't lay my hands on no woman unless it's in the bedroom and I disrespect them respectfully. Okay. That's a different story. But outside of that, just because you're upset at them, no. I've never hit a woman. I've never pushed a woman. I've gotten angry and I punch things. Like, let's be honest, sometimes like something takes us over the edge and we'll punch something. Not them. I punched a lamp before, broke it. Punched the fridge before, bent it, and things like that. So that's why I'm saying like, it's okay to get mad. It's okay to get upset. It happens. No relationship is perfect. But getting to the point where you're physical with your person, that's a no. But some people, since they do that already, they feel like they're on some sort of like deeper connection. No, get the fuck out of here. Some deeper connection. Can you believe somebody actually said that we're on a deeper connection when, no. Hell no. Just because you got a fucking 2-piece with a side of fucking macaroni on the side of your eyeball does not mean that you were connect in a deeper level. Fuck out of here. And then there's also the fear of being alone. And let's be honest, there's some people, they either go back to their exes or they jump from relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship. And it happens. I know some people like that. I'm sure you know some people. And some people go back to their ex because they get lonely. Trust me, like it gets lonely in the beginning. Yeah, absolutely. But that's something that you have to fight through, because would you rather go through this lonely phase and then heal and come out better on the other side? Or do you just want to keep going back and keep getting put right back to the same cycle? Hurt again, hurt again, hurt again. You know, that's just taking you longer to heal, and it's making it harder for you to heal. Okay. So definitely loneliness is a huge one, because some people will break up and you see them not even like a week later, a month later. If it doesn't matter how long you've been in a relationship, you need some time after it, because you need some time to like, go through the feelings of being heartbroken, maybe a little bit lonely, maybe sad, upset, like all these emotions. It's okay. It's fine. It's normal. It's normal. That should be something you want to go through to get out of that, like whatever you're feeling. You have to go through these emotions. But keep going back to your person, you're never going to go through that. You're never going to come out on the other side, because there's so many people that, damn, I can't believe I kept going back. I kept going back. Or I finally left. I don't know why it took me so long to leave. It's okay to be lonely, and you will be lonely after a breakup. You will. That's why you got friends. That's why you got family members. That's why you keep yourself busy. You see, right now it's popular to take yourself on a date on Instagram and TikTok. Even though I've been doing it for the longest time, now it's like, maybe I should have been recording myself going to eat or going to get a drink or something like that. And a lot of people do it, and it's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Keeping yourself distracted, keeping yourself busy helps you get past that lonely phase. Because you'll see sometimes like a couple out and you'll be like, damn, I wish I had a person like to be out here. It'd be fun. Or, hey, like I wish I had somebody just to watch TV, watch a movie at night and just kick back. Trust me, I went through all those emotions too. Like sometimes I would be laying down by myself and I'd just be like, man, it'd be nice to have somebody around, like to talk to joke around, to watch a movie. But then I see like a lot of the BS that's going around and I'm just like, yeah, I'm good. I'm straight. So that's why like it's okay to be lonely, because once you learn how to be alone, you become a very dangerous person. Very dangerous person. And not in a bad way, but now what I mean by very dangerous is you won't put up with people's shit anymore. For example, like if a guy used to do certain things and now you're just like, no, I was doing better by myself. Fuck that. And then you cut him off. And that's what I mean. Like guys don't like that. They want you to be reliant on them. They want you to chase them. Some of them, not all. So, but once you learn how to be alone, trust me, I was there. When you learn how to be alone, because when I mean I was there, I want to have somebody around. But then once you are okay with being alone and you're used to your own company and keep yourself distracted and enjoy your own company, you deal with a lot less BS. A girl gives me shady vibes. Bye. Better off single. Like the fuck. Like I don't want to be feeling like this. Or someone gives me a red flag. Bye. Like I ain't gonna deal with that shit. Better off single. So that's why it's okay to be alone. Don't think it's a bad thing. Don't think that you're a loser or anything like that. People go through these. Like you have to go through this emotional roller coaster to get past this stuff. So, and then also why people go back is that nostalgia feeling. So many people get stuck on the good of what happened in the relationship. And that's okay. That's what you should remember is the good. You don't want to remember the bad. But for the most part, the good for some people outweighs the bad, even though the bad is way more and way worse than the good, And that's why like they're like, oh, one day, they feel like they assume, remember how I always talk about assume? People assume that things are going to get worked out. They're going to get fixed eventually over time. It's been 5 years, dummy. I don't mean to say dummy like in a bad way, but like get it through your head. It's been 5 years and they haven't changed. How much more time are you going to wait? It doesn't matter if it's been a year, 2 years. Like the moment you guys start having problems is you guys start fixing it. And And if it gets to the point where the relationship didn't work out, now it's time to go your separate ways, not going back to your person. Like, there's no need to go back there. Again, let me emphasize, if you guys got to the point where you guys needed to separate, what makes you think it's going to work out again? You know, think about that. Let that marinate a little bit. If you got to the point where you guys needed to separate, what makes you think it's going to go back to how it was and it work out happily ever after? What makes you think? Because their patterns, their behaviors, everything has been just showing you the worst. That's not what they want. They don't want you. They don't want a relationship. They're always arguing. So think about that. Stop out. It's always good to remember the good, but don't let it outweigh all the bad that's been happening. Don't think that those good times are just going to be more, because if you got to the point where you guys are exes now, the bad times were probably a lot more worse, you know, or there's more of the worst parts than there was goods, because no relationship is perfect. It always goes up and down, and that's normal for a relationship. But you also have to pay attention to the good and the bad. Like, if you had a percentage out of 100, how much percentage is it good? How much percentage is it bad? And you know, you have to be honest with yourself. If you're like always constantly fighting and things like that, and you would say like, well, we're like 20% good, and then like 80% most of the time we're fighting or arguing or something's going on. Why would you want to be in that type of relationship? You know, it should be flipped the other way around. Yeah, like I said, no relationship is perfect. So stop holding on to those good times. It's always good to remember the good times, because trust me, that's what, you know, you were happy then. You know, you were going through a great time. It was great memories. And I'm not saying forget about the good times. I'm just saying don't let those good times outweigh all the negativity, all the bad stuff that they do and they continue to do and you continue to go back to. Don't let the good times outweigh that, unless they showed you clearly that they have changed. And this is over a period of time. I can tell you whatever the fuck I want. I can go and cheat on you today, and then tomorrow I'll be like, I'm a changed man. Really? A day later? And then guess what happened? Then you get cheated on again. So don't let that outweigh, because there was times where I went back thinking that things were going to work out. Like, trust me, this is not just me talking out of my ass. I've gone back to exes. Did it work out? No. Did we end up worse? Yeah. Did it take afterwards, when you get past this person, you're like, damn, like, why did I even go back? Or why did I waste so much time on this person? You know, like, you start telling yourself that when you should have listened. Like, always trust your gut feeling, and trust their actions. At the end of the day, that's what you have to do. And that's something that I learned, is I have to pay attention to their actions, because again, I can tell you I'm going to treat you like a queen. What are my actions telling you? I can, you know, like, if his actions are, you guys get back together, it's good for a month, 2, maybe, or less, and then goes right back to the same shit. What makes you think they're going to change? Like, they clearly showing you their pattern. It's a whole cycle that keeps just going over and over, recycling, and you get nowhere. So think about it before you go back to your ex this time. Okay. Just really think about it. And then we have the whole blocking and unblocking Olympics, is what I like to call it. And why people do it. People do it for the most part for attention, to get your attention, and to see if you'll notice. So sometimes somebody will block you, and then because the other person is stalking you, and then all of a sudden you go to their profile and you're like, what the fuck, they blocked me? I'm sure there's some people who've done that. And you're like, what the fuck? Like, why would you block me? And then you figure out a way to get a hold of them. Either if you know their number, if you text them, social media, you email them, like, you message their friend and be like, why the fuck did you block me? Because that's what they're doing. They're being petty. They want to block you and unblock you, block you and unblock you, because they're trying to get your attention somehow, trying to get you to react somehow. And then you grabbing onto the bait is what they wanted. If they block you, and then because you're like over them, they're like, oh, I'm gonna block him or block her. And then you're like, why in the fuck did he block me instead of chase me? And vice versa too. Like, girls chase the guys and guys chase the girls. Like, it just happens. It depends on your guys' dynamic. But this whole, like, are you listening to this whole blocking and unblocking, how toxic this sounds and how unhealthy this sounds? People do it for attention. People do it to get some sort of reaction from their person. Like if you got to that point, just stop and actually think about it. Be like, what the fuck are we doing? What are we in high school? And if you're in high school, I mean, this is where you're learning. But they're trying to see your reaction to it, and then sometimes they might block you and then share some stuff on their story or something. And then somebody else sees it. And this is what they're trying to do. Have somebody else show you it, screenshot it and be like, yo, look what he's posting. Look what she's posting. And then you get even more mad because that's what they were trying to do. They were trying to get a reaction from you. And guess what? Mission accomplished. They got it. Especially if you reach out to them. Then I'm sure you guys have seen the toxic, like people going back and forth on social media. Like they're going through something and you're just like, maybe you guys should talk to each other. Like, why are you guys on social media just going back and forth, sharing stuff on your stories? No, absolutely not. You're not going to catch me doing that. Like, I've done it before. Yeah, guilty. But now, 37-year-old Edgar, absolutely not. We're way past that. And like I said, it's just toxic games. Very, like, that's not healthy. A healthy relationship, even though you guys had an argument, maybe you guys just like broke up just because the spur of the moment type of thing. You were so mad, like, and I get it. Those things happen, and you're just like, fuck this, we're done. But then later, once you actually think about it a little bit, you'll be like, fuck, man, I shouldn't have done that. Like I didn't want to break up with the person. Let me reach out to them. Like, let's try to fix this out. Let's try to fix this. Let's try to work this out. That's a healthy relationship because, again, people get upset, people argue, and so on and so forth. But doing toxic shit like that, like blocking, unblocking, like saying disrespectful stuff to each other, like saying petty stuff just to get a reaction, like this is how they are when they're angry. And this is why I tell people you got to get to know your person. How are they when they get mad? How are they when they get sad, depressed, happy, emotional? Like how are they when they because if they get super mad, now you're seeing how they get super mad. What makes you think that this is just a one time? They're probably going to get like that several times because, again, no relationship is perfect and it's always up and down. So he's going to get mad eventually again for something. It just naturally, it happens. We're human. We fuck up. So he's going to get mad again. And this is the way he's going to be reacting. So you have to remember that. And I remember, I'm not going to say it was an acquaintance of mine. That way you guys don't know the gender. But they kept blocking and unblocking and blocking and unblocking. And then they would call from a different number. And it was just like the most toxic thing ever. I was not in the relationship, but damn it, I felt like I was. I felt stressed out. I felt the anxiety. This person would block them and all, waiting for the other person's response. And I'm just like, this is going to get crazy. And then all of a sudden, Idaho was a small place. And then all of a sudden people showed up and it turned into a shit show real fast. Would I want to be in a relationship like that? Even thinking back to this, fuck no. I definitely would not want to be in a relationship like that at all. So you think about that too. Like how, if you've seen other people go through similar things, like why are you putting other people through that? And guess what? Now you're living through that. So if you notice a lot of toxic behavior going on with your ex, like why wouldn't you just cut them off? And if they're a co-parenting situation, unless it's about the kids, you guys don't talk about shit. And that's how it is with me. And like if I'm dating somebody, it's all about the kids. That's it. You're not asking how. Like if I'm dating somebody, you're not asking her how her day is going. You don't ask her how she's feeling. No, that is all my job now, buddy. Okay, that's not for you to ask. That's not for them to ask. And then if you're with somebody and they're responding to that, that's a no for me. And if you can't change that behavior, then clearly we're not meant for each other because I'm going to tell you. And then if you don't change it, I'm going to leave because I don't want to deal with that. Like I don't care how healthy you guys are co-parenting relationship is. No, there's no talking like you guys were in a relationship anymore. Once you guys separated, you're separated. Okay. And then some people are just bored, to be honest. They're not like, they may feel lonely at times, or they may, before you would hang out with your person. And so now you're not hanging out with your person. So now you just message them, because usually you're like, Saturday we would go and do this, but now I'm not doing that because we're not together. Maybe I should hit him up. Maybe I should hit her up. Like, are you looking for their social medias? Like, are you stalking them? Because, if you're stalking them and looking for them, I don't think you're over this person. Like, I'm just going to be 100% honest. I don't think you're over this person. But if you're like, maybe you're spending one Saturday together, like alone, and then all of a sudden you're like, man, I want to go do something, and you hit them up, you're probably fucking bored. And since you already know this person, you're comfortable. You don't want to get to know a new guy who's going to be maybe cringy or not your type or anything like that. You hit up an ex. Way easier to do that than to meet somebody new. So you have to pay attention. Like, are you looking for them? Do you miss them? Because again, when you're going through the whole breakup, heartbreak stage, you're going to miss them, because they were always around. You're going to feel sad, upset. Like, you're going to go through all the emotions, loneliness. You're going to go through these. It doesn't mean to hit them up. That's not what it means. It means like you're going through something, and you have to go through that. Same with like people who are addicts. When they start going clean, they go through withdrawals. And that's what you're going through, is like a withdrawal of this person. When you miss this person, you would see him. You would always constantly see him. So it wasn't to the point where you're like, damn, I really want to see him. I'm sure like it gets to that point, but so you have to pay attention to your behaviors and their behaviors too, because they could be doing the same thing to you. They're just bored, so they hit you up, and now you're thinking that there's something there, when in reality they were just bored, and so they were just like, they couldn't get no other girl to hang out with them, so they're just like, oh well, let me just hit her up, see if she wants to go to dinner or hang out. Maybe I'm gonna go get some. I haven't gotten some in a little bit. Let me hit her up real quick. So pay attention to that, like the behaviors, like drunk text. Are you drunk texting them? One thing that I like to do, that way you don't drunk text them, because trust me, I've been there. I'm sure a lot of people have, is I delete their number, because you can go and block them, right? And then you can go back into your phone and find where you blocked them and unblock them and message them or call them. But if you actually delete their contact and then block their contact, now you have people who are, because I'm sure other people have other people blocked, right? Now you just have a bunch of random numbers that are blocked, and you're just like, which one is it? It's a lot more difficult to get somebody's number that way, especially if you're lit. It's a little bit more difficult to get their number. So that's why I said, like, I delete their contact and I block them. Don't need to drunk text them. Absolutely the fuck not. And if you're bored, to get past that is go do something on your own. Hit up a friend, hit up a family member, hit up a sibling. Go and do something. Go by yourself. If you want to go to the gym, go shopping maybe, go somewhere to eat by yourself. Go try a new coffee place, a new snack place, a new cafe. Like, go do something on your own. Nobody's going to look at you and be like, oh my God, look at this loser over here. I see people out by themselves all the time. There's nothing wrong with it. Trust me, nobody cares. Spoiler alert, nobody fucking cares. No one's like, oh, poor baby. The only people that care are probably guys, meaning like they're going to say like, well, let me go shoot my shot real quick. But if you just go and like, you're just there for you, maybe you give that, you got to give those signs that you're not looking to talk to people. Maybe have your AirPods on, headphones on, and you're on your phone, eating, doing something, that way, because the moment you make eye contact with somebody, they could think that that's a sign to be like, hey, come talk to me. So something like that. So, but if you're bored, just figure that part out. Like, why are you bored? You're probably just laying at home, not doing anything. You'll be like, oh, he usually told me, let's go do something today. So no. So definitely get past that. And then another thing that I want to talk about, which I've been emphasizing, but I wanted to do its own little section on this, is can you be friends with your ex? Can it actually work? Can there be mutual respect, closure, no lingering feelings, and both moved on? I feel like in order to get to that part is you guys have to have no communication. Meaning like, if there's no kids involved, like why would you want to be friends with an ex? What if your feelings are still there and they get with somebody else, and now that's painful, you know? Because I remember when I broke up with an ex, especially my first ex, and somebody had told me that she was dating or out on dates. I didn't care because I didn't see it, you know? And it was only until like somebody else showed me like maybe I think it was like a story of her like on a date, and that fucked me up. It wasn't me getting told by other people. I was like, I don't care. Like, but the moment I saw it, that was like, I actually got upset. I was like, fuck, like, why is she out on, you know, and things like that, like natural anger feelings. But that's why, like, I'm not friends with exes. I'm not friends. Can you co-parent? Yes, absolutely. You can co-parent, but it strictly kids. That's it. There's no like, hey, I'm coming over. Hey, can I come over? No, you come over, pick up the kids right outside the door. No need to go in unless it's like a baby or something that you need to put them in the thing and like carry them out. Okay, that I understand. You're there probably 5 minutes, 10 minutes, if that. No going over to eat, like, oh, I made you some food. And nope. If you want to do that, then go ahead. But if you do it on my watch, meaning like if you're with me, trust me, I'm going to leave with the quickness. So there are some people who are like, I can be friends with the exes and stuff. And then, because that's a question I ask people when I have them as guests, is can you be friends with your exes? And most of the time, I'm not calling the girls out, but most of the time the girls say, yeah. But then that's why I have this follow-up. I'm like, okay, would you be okay with your man to be friends with their ex when they're with you? And they're like, fuck no. And I'm just like, see, like what makes you think that I think it's okay? If you think it's not okay, why do you think I think it's okay? But you try to justify it saying it's okay. No, it's not okay. Exes are in the past. We keep them behind us because it didn't work out. You know, there's clearly a reason you're not with them. So there's no reason to continue communication. No, none of that. Don't feed me none of that. Some people, I can be like, I have a healthy, okay, good for you. We're not dating though, you know, so good for you. But if we were dating, that's a different situation because that not happening around me. So because the reason I say that, and I'll tell you guys why I say that, is I've seen people who are just friends still hanging out, hooking up. They end up getting back together. I was not dating, but I was talking to a girl, and then all of a sudden, like, she's just stopped talking to me because she ended up going back with her ex, and they were just friends, you know? And see, that's why I'm saying, like, I don't want to go through that shit. Like, now I was like, okay, I wasted all this fucking time with you just so you can be like, bye, I'm leaving, going back with my ex. We decided to work it. No. So, and I've been that person too. Like when an ex hit me up, she's with somebody else, she's wanting to hook up. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. So like, trust me, I've been on both sides of it and I know what goes on. So that's why I'm pretty strict, and I don't care who you are. If that's not something you can do for me, then like I said before, we're not meant for each other. But you will not be friends with your ex. Co-parenting, again, we have our boundaries. We have things that I need from you. And don't be like, oh, well, you don't have to. Well, because I don't have a bunch of fucking kids running around. That's why. You know, that's why you don't have to deal with it on my end. You're not going to have to deal with no ex-baby mom or ex-baby mamas, exes, because they're all blocked. They're all, get away from me. So going back to your ex, again, it depends on what it was. Has it worked out for some people going back with their ex and they do a lot better? Yeah, because maybe they realize that they're losing this person and now they really want to make it work. But does it always work like that? Probably not. You know, you have to think about like what was the reason it ended, and why it is that you want him back. Like answer yourself that question and actually think about it. Why did it end? And why is it that I want them back? Do I want to go back because, like, say they cheated on me and they said they're going to do better? Okay, like if they said they're going to do better, they're willing to, if they're actually trying to do better, they're going to be putting in the effort to court you again, because that's what that's what they got to do now. It might take A few months might take a little bit longer. But you just being like, oh, okay, yeah, it's fine. No, now they're just like, oh, okay, like now I know what to do. Like if I cheat, I just do this, I'll get her back. No, it should be like, hey, like you're on the brink of losing me. So like if you actually want me, you're going to have to show me that you really want me. And if not, then that's fine. We'll go our separate ways because I'm not going to be dealing with this shit. So that's what I'm saying. Like, why do you want them back? Like, answer yourself that. And what was the reason why it ended? Like, if they ended because, say, the person cheated, think about this. They were with you. They knowingly went and met up with somebody else without you knowing, kept it a secret. He chose, or she chose, to hook up with this other person while being in a relationship with you. They knew what they were doing. There's no, don't give me that other BS. They knew what they were doing. The disrespect there, them having no respect for you, them not loving you, them willing to risk the relationship just for a few minutes of something, right? And then they give you a stupid ass excuse of why they did it, and you take them back. So think about that. Like, why is it you guys separated? If it was like a toxic behavior, meaning like you guys try to work it out so many times, they say they would change. Happened to me. Oh, like things are going to change, goes right back to the same thing. Things are going to change, right back to the same thing. Several times until finally I was like, this shit is not going to change. We just keep going in circles and circles and circles and circles. And I had to finally be like, no. Like, I still remember it very vividly. She was like, I'm just going to go stay with my mom. Like, this is not working out. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, let me know when you're going to come get your stuff. And just the look on her face when I said, okay. Because before it would be like, no, like, we're going to make it work. Like, you know, this and that. Like, I'll change. Like, we'll be fine or whatever, you know, like the excuses you make. And then finally I was just like, you know what? I was like, just let me know when you're going to come get your stuff. Because I was like, yeah, we're not working out. It's not working. We've tried, and there's just no connection there anymore. And so that happens. Did we try to work it out afterwards? Yeah, because this is the first person I've been with for so long. And so this is me learning. This is me experiencing this for the first time. 7.5 years, like most people don't even make it that long. So this is me experiencing a long relationship and how to deal with it afterwards. And naturally, because everybody says, oh no, like maybe you guys can make it work. And so we tried to make it work and it didn't work, you know. And then we would go through arguments and, you know, and one thing that really helped me get over her was like we were living together. And this is where I'm like, I just get rid of all their shit. And she decided, we bought everything together. You know, like, they were like, oh, let's get this. And I would give her like some money and then she would like put in the rest or something like that. Something along those lines, right? So a lot of the stuff we had purchased together. And then when she came, I had gotten home and she had her family over and stuff like that. And the house was empty. All she left was the bed, TV, and a few other little things, but she had taken the couches, the other TV stands, the nightstands, like the dress, like everything. Like taken everything. It just looked like nobody lived in this house anymore. And I was just like, all right, cool. Like, it's just material stuff. And yeah, it sucked at the moment. And my mom was pissed at the moment. She was like, I can't believe she fucking took everything. You need to tell her. And I was like, no. The only thing I asked for back, I only asked for one thing back. And that was a mirror my mom gave me. And that was the only reason I asked for it back, was because my mom gave it to me. If it was like a mirror that I bought, I would have been like, whatever. No, but my mom gave me that mirror and I wanted that mirror back. That was the only reason. I don't know how much it was. I don't know. But I just wanted it back because that was a mirror that my mom gifted me. And so that's why I'm saying, like, that's where I learned, because I was able to get past this person a lot quicker because I didn't have none of their shit that would remind me of them. You know, they took everything and that's fine. And so that's what I learned from that relationship, is like just getting rid of all their shit, anything they have given me, that anything that reminds me of them, you just get rid of it. It's just material shit. You can just get it again. Either donate it, throw it away, sell it. Like, why do you need to keep it? To keep those memories? So, like, that's what I learned from that one. And sometimes, like, the most, sometimes the toxic thing is not, or the toxic person is the ex. It's the whole thing that you guys are doing. Like, both of you guys are being toxic. Like, the blocking, unblocking, you cheating back, like all this stuff. Like, why would you want to be with an ex that is like that? Maybe your ex is super disrespectful. Like, why would you want to be with somebody like that? I would not want to be with somebody who disrespects me. I've never, for the most part, I never called a girl out of their name. Of course, I raised my voice a few times, but it was never like, I never get super disrespectful. I never start swearing at them. I never start doing none of that stuff because I'm always trying to be super respectful to the person. But and that's why, like, the moments, like, for example, if a guy finally gets physical with you, now they just open that door. Now, what else are they going to do? They're already physical. Maybe they pushed you. Maybe they slapped you. Maybe they pulled your hair. Maybe they threw something at you. Now that door is open. And that typically leads to other things. So definitely, like, in your gut feeling, if this relationship is over or if it's something that you guys are just like dragging along. Okay. So what I want to leave you guys with is, if you're being hung up with your ex at the moment, ask yourself why. Like, if it's a constant like cycle, like we're on and off, on and off, on and off, why are you still there? Like, why are you still there with this person that is not trying to work it out with you? Like, it's constantly arguing, constantly fighting. You get back together, like, it doesn't work out. You guys, just the toxicity is crazy. Like, tell yourself, like, are you going back with this person because you're comfortable with them? You're bored? You're lonely? Like, actually answer these questions, because it helps me, like, talk about these things out loud. It really helps me, like, with my communication with people, me maybe getting over something, talking about these things out loud definitely help. And so that's why, like, if you need somebody to talk to, because clearly your ex is going to be like, let's work it out, or you're fucking stupid, or, you know what I mean? They're going to say something. Talk to a therapist, talk to a counselor. They're going to help you get through this. And they're going to show you, oh, you don't even like this person like that anymore. You're only going back for X, Y, and Z. Like, that's why, right? Once you learn how to, like, get past this or fill those voids with something else, you're going to be able to get past this person. So if you're with your ex, or not with your ex, but if you're constantly going back and forth with your ex, think about that. There's somebody out there who's going to want to treat you like a queen, treat you like a king. But the only reason you haven't found that is because you're still dealing with this person that's just being toxic. So many stories that I get that don't get a lot of traction because everybody likes to hear the train wreck. That, oh, I found this person. He's so amazing. Like, he does this, this, and this. After leaving like a 10-year relationship, they notice that this is out there. I wish I would have left sooner. So again, how long are you going to wait? How long are you going to, like, spend with time with this person? Or how long are you guys going to keep constantly doing this cycle thing? And if you're already healed past your person, okay, how is your partner with their ex? Like, are they constantly in communication? Oh, I'm friends with them. No. I have my strict boundaries and rules. And if you can't follow them, we're not meant to be. And you should too. I would rather lose somebody because they don't agree to that, because clearly something else is going on if they don't agree to that, than to live with somebody or, like, be with somebody and them constantly doing shady stuff like that, like hanging out with their ex, or like this. Oh, he messaged me kiss emojis, or no, fuck no. So again, thank you guys for always tuning in. Hopefully this brought you a lot of value. Hopefully this brought you value with the person that you're with. And at the end of the day, you're going to be able to make the best decision for you or yourself. Or if you know somebody that's going through something similar, send them this podcast, because guess what? It's going to help them. Excuse me. That's what we're here for, is to help people, is to create a space where people can have these conversations. Because I've gotten those messages like crazy. You help me and my husband. You help me and my wife me and my boyfriend, like whether it's helping, like bringing them closer together and fixing their problems, or finally learning, hey, we need to separate. Like, this is not how we're supposed to be living. And because we've gotten both, and both of them are good, you know, even though like if you guys separate, there's a lot of things that are going to go on, meaning like you're going to go through a whole emotional roller coaster of a heartbreak. And that's fine. That's normal. That's what heartbreaks are. I would rather go through a heartbreak than be with somebody who cheated on me and live with that feeling of like, are they still cheating? Are they doing something shady? Like, I can't believe they did that. No, hell no. But anyways, thank you guys for always listening. Go to naughtyscience.com. Make sure you guys get something to support the podcast. Discount code is in the description, so make sure you guys use it too as well. And I will see you guys on the TikTok lives. And so every Mondays and Thursdays, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we go live. And it's a great time. I'll tell you that. It gets either hot and heavy or it gets super deep. That's what she said. Anyways, I'll see you guys later.